Jai Radha Madhava, and then we will get into the Krishna Katha. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Girvardhari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Girvardhari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We'll just do our prayer before we start Krishna Katha. Hey Krishna, Karna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, Jagatpate, Gopisha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute, Tapta Kanchana, Gaurangi, Radhe, Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhanusute, Devi, Pranamami, Hari Priye. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudi, Gaura Bhakta. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namaste Giri Rajaya Sri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. Namaste Girirajaya Sri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. Namaste Girirajaya Sri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So I will just share the screen for our beautiful another new chapter that's unfolding. Just let me know when you're able to see. I hope everybody can see the screen. Yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, and as we always do this wonderful sloka from Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti takritaha chakradeham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, where Krishna Bhagavan is telling in Bhagavad Gita that one who hears the Krishna Katha is so auspicious, the divine leelas of Krishna, Krishna's birth, Krishna's divine leelas of how he has kind of like shown his mercy and love towards the residents of Vrindavan. All these leelas, when you even hear this Krishna Katha, Krishna says that it is so auspicious that once we leave this material world, we'll directly go to Krishna Loka, but we'll not come back to this material world. So how much of security is there in listening to Krishna Katha? Because this whole Leelas is to give us also this beautiful relationship where we can understand with Krishna on a very personal level. The whole Damodarastakam, if we see in that, there is a prayer saying that where Satyavrata Muni is telling, he's praying in Damodarastakam, saying that we don't want liberation. We do not want the highest level of liberation in Vaikunta. Krishna, we just want this beautiful form of Balagopala to be manifesting in our heart. That's all we want. We want this love of Krishna. So how do we develop this love of Krishna? Many people, I remember when I was in Soho temple, they said, somebody was asking, we are chanting, but you're not getting a taste. So how do we develop our love for Krishna? Because it looks like how do I even chant without having love and things like that? So there was a question asked like that. So these things are like when you want to drive somewhere, you just have to use your clutch, you have to use your gear, and you have to use the steering wheel as well at the same time. So similarly, when in our devotional life, these things to happen should be happening together while we are engaging ourselves in chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are chanting on one hand, and the other hand, we are listening to Krishna Katha. So this will develop so much of love for Krishna. By hearing the Krishna Katha, we'll develop faith towards Krishna, we'll develop personal love towards Krishna. And Krishna says that, even in the Damodarskan praise, he says, like, that Sacharat Muni is saying we don't want to be enchanted by all these opulence, but to develop a personal love towards Krishna. That, have only the whole object of Bhakti Yoga is to develop love for Krishna. And the chanting of the holy names is also to remove all the anarthas and remove all the dirty things from the heart so that we can develop the love for Krishna. So Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhuna vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That he comes for two reasons. One is to show his love for his devotees, to protect his devotees, and also to annihilate the miscreants or to end the persecution of that the demonic people have been doing on the planet Earth. And as you can see, all these beautiful chapters that we covered, we were always talking about this divine Leela of how Krishna was born. We're talking about the demonic Kamsa who was ready to even kill his own sister. And we were talking about how Putana was killed, how Trinvarta was killed. So all these things are basically to show Krishna, showing these beautiful Leelas that when we have, no matter how many demonic people are in our lives, or no matter of demonic things are there, when we have Krishna on our side, we will be able to overcome all kind of a thing because Krishna will always give protection. And you can see another. So if you see the chapters, on one hand, we have Krishna killing all these demonic ones like Putana. And again, we have the other ones like Mother Yashoda binding Lord Krishna with so much of love and devotion. And this beautiful Rasa Leela that we covered, where Krishna and how Krishna has been showing his love towards the resident by lifting the Govardhan hill and all these things, and on all the Rasa dance and things like that. So we can see in the Krishna book that it's a combination of two things where on one hand, Krishna is killing the demonic things, as at the same time, he's also kind of like showing his love towards his the residents of Vrindavan. So when we get to read all these things, all these beautiful leelas of Krishna, which a faith will develop in our heart, and that will help us in chanting more deeper and deeper towards Krishna, which will remove all the anarthas. And as we remove all the anarthas, you'll start developing more love for Krishna, and you'll be enjoying the Krishna Katha more and more. So all these things are interrelated. And then again, we can relate this Krishna Katha to Bhagavad Gita because so many things are so linked in the way what Krishna's message from Bhagavad Gita. And here we can see that how Bhakti Yoga is unfolding in the form of this beautiful Leelas for Krishna. So we covered actually till here where we've seen like how Narada Muni is trying to accelerate. Like I said, Krishna has come for two purposes: to end the demonic rulers, like Kamsa, one of the head of all these demonic kings. So here you can find that Narada wants to speed up this Leelas of Krishna. So he goes and tells Kamsa that, that Krishna is actually the eighth son, is actually, not here. He's there in Nanda Bhavan, and actually they've been swabbed for the daughter with this Krishna and things like that. And now we can see that how Kamsa is trying to get ready for killing. And there were two things. So we starting off with a new chapter called Killing the Kesi Demon and Vyomasura, Vyomasura. Now, there were 5 things that Kamsa was trying to do in order to kill Krishna. One, he was telling the Kesi demon to go to Vrindavan and go and kill Krishna and Balaram. Yeah, that was the first thing that he was trying to do. And the second thing, he was trying to arrange for the elephants. There's one particular elephant which he wanted to arrange to kill, to invite Krishna to Mathura, and once, so that when he comes over there, he wants this Kaivalya Pada. That was the name of the elephant, Kaivalya Pada, and must be a very, very monstrous kind of an elephant. And Kamsa was arranging for this elephant so that when Krishna and Balaram come to Mathura, he can arrange for it to be killed, for both of them to be killed by this elephant. And on the other hand, third plan he's doing is he's also arranging for a wrestling match, and he's getting those wrestlers ready so that they can arrange, they can kill Krishna as well. And then apart from that, he also tells his friends to go and worship Lord Shiva in the form of Kalabhairava. And it is known that one of the forms of Lord Shiva is Kalabhairava, where they offer animal sacrifices, and in return they get this power where they can go and kill. So he's trying to do that as well. And then apart from that, of all these messages, so we can imagine how demoniac Kamsa's mentality is, that he's trying to arrange for all these things to kill Krishna and Balaram, because his intellect is so contaminated, and his intellect is so much telling him that, the prophecy that's come up, that Krishna is the eighth son of Devaki and Vasudeva, he's going to be killed by them. So he's strongly believing that he's going to be killed by this eighth son. So he, at any cost, he doesn't want to take any chances. So he's making all kind of arrangements. And finally, he's making arrangements for Akrura, who comes from this Yadu dynasty. He's telling he's telling Akrura that, he's begging for charity from Akrura, and selling like he wants Akrura to take Kamsa's chariot and go all the way to Vrindavan. And he's telling can you just go and entice and encourage Krishna and Balaram to come to Mathura and just get them here, and from here I'll take care. I'll just arrange for them to be killed. And then once Krishna and Balaram is killed, then I'll arrange for Devaki and Nandam and Vasudeva to be killed. And then he was ready to kill his own father, Ugrasena, as well. So you can imagine he's got a plan laid out for killing all the people. Now let us go back. Now let us go to the very first plan that is trying to unfold. In trying to kill Krishna. That is chapter number 37 of the Krishna book. And before the start the chapter, I want to just tell, yesterday there was actually a program by the Beatles where they were singing the songs of the George Harrison in memory of this is the 50th year that my manor has been gifted by the Beatles, especially George Harrison. And why it's important just to even think about George Harrison is because he's the one who has actually contributed for this Krishna book. He paid about $16,000. I don't know. I think Amagu Prabhu, maybe if you know. But he spent a lot of money. He's contributed in a very big way, George Harrison, for publishing this Krishna book. So we feel very grateful. Actually, we should offer our gratitude to George Harrison, because he's given a donation for contributing for this publication of Krishna book, which is what we are enjoying right now. And yesterday, in fact, there were so many people, like Krishna's devotee, Prabhupada's disciples, so many people, they just came, they went and bought so many of these books. And it was very interesting that they bundled Krishna's books and they kind of like sold on, because I had to just go and just help and doing some service. So they bought, a lot of devotees, they bought this Krishna book, and they bought even the book written by the Beatles' best friend, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Chasing Rhinos with the Swami. So so we thank George Harrison for giving us this beautiful gift of publishing this Krishna book. So let's dive into the chapter 37. I think we have some devotee who has joined. Sanchit Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Always.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Always joy to have your association. Thank you very much, in spite of your busy schedule, making time for us, all of us. We were just getting started off with the chapter 37. I was just giving a recap that all the Kamsa was designed about 5 different plans in order to get Krishna and Balaram and get them killed in Mathura. So we're just starting with the very first plan that he was unfolding, that is by sending the Kesi demon to go and kill Vyamasura. I was very curious to see like how this Kesi demon must have been. So here you can see this Kesi demon. I had just Googled and seen like how the picture of this Kesi demon is a massive horse form of a demon. And but like how, no matter how big a demon it is, in the hands of Krishna, the demon is nothing, isn't it? Like you can see how Krishna is just literally furling them, just like how you take a small ant or take a small fly and just whirl it around. So you can see how beautiful Krishna is. This is another beautiful picture of Krishna punishing his this KC demon. So I thought maybe we should just see this picture before we dive, so we can get into mind how big this particular demon was. And as always, as I mentioned, Prabhupada has narrated it so beautifully in this Krishna book. So let's dive into this beautiful chapter 37. After being instructed by Kamsa, the demon KC assumed the form of a terrible horse. He entered the area of Vrindavan with the speed of the mind, his great mane flying and his hooves digging up the earth. He began to whinny and terrify the whole forest. Krishna saw that the demon was terrifying all the residents of Vrindavan with his whining and his tail wheeling in the sky like a big cloud. Krishna could understand the house was challenging him to fight. The Lord accepted his challenge and stood before the KC demon, calling him to fight. The horse then ran towards Krishna, making a horrible sound like a roaring lion. His jaws spread wide open as if to swallow the whole sky. Casey rushed towards the Lord with great speed and tried to trample him with his legs, which were strong, forceful, and as hard as stone. Krishna, however, immediately caught hold of his legs and thus baffled him. Krishna was somehow angry, and thus he began to whirl the horse around. After a few rounds, he contemptuously threw him 100 yards away, just as a Garuda throws a big snake. Thrown by Krishna, the horse immediately passed out, but after a little while, he regained consciousness with great anger and force again rushed towards Krishna with his mouth open. As soon as Casey reached him, Krishna pushed his left arm into the horse's mouth, and it looked as though a big snake had entered a hole in a field. The horse felt great pain because Krishna's arm felt to him like a hot iron rod. Immediately, his teeth fell out. Krishna's arm within the mouth of a horse at once began to expand, and Casey's throat choked up. As the great horse suffocated, perspiration appeared on his body, and he threw his legs hither and thither. As his last breath came, his eyeballs bulged in the sockets, and he passed stool and urine simultaneously. Thus, the vital force of his life expired. When the horse was dead, his mouth became loose, and Krishna could extract his arm without difficulty. He did not feel any surprise that the KC demon was killed so easily, but the demigods in the sky were amazed, and out of the great appreciation, they offered Krishna greetings by showering flowers. So we can see another beautiful Leela of Krishna is unfolding here. This time it is with the KC demon. And we can make out from the starting of this chapter that this KC demon was not originally he was a demon, but actually he assumed the form of a terrible horse. So we can see that in those days also they had some power. They could just take a different form of a terrible horse, as we can see over here. And most of the demons that Krishna has killed in Vrindavan were actually gigantic, isn't it? Like when we keep hearing about so many of these demons. And here you can see that even the KC demon assumed that like a massive horse, as you can see in the picture. And with the way it is digging we can see, right, sometimes like the horses, and we find some of the bulls, and they keep digging with the hooves, digging up the earth. So here we can see that this particular terrible horse, KC demon, also doing the same thing. It is kind of like, and Krishna could make out that this KC demon is what his KC demon is up to. And why Krishna could make out? Because Krishna says he's sitting in the heart of everyone. He knows what each and every one of us is thinking. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannavisto matasmitir jnanam apohanam cha vedasya sarveraham eva vedo vedanta krit veda vid eva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So how would Krishna not be knowing, because he's sitting in the hearts of everyone? So Krishna could understand this horse is trying to challenge him to fight, and Krishna happily accepted this challenge and went towards this KC demon, this horse which is looking so gigantic. And as we can see, Krishna so easily caught hold of the legs and whirled it around. And again, it kept rushing towards Krishna. Again, he takes him and this time he just forces and gives one bang with his left hand into the mouth. And as you can see, like how easy that Krishna handles all these demons. It's nothing, right? I mean, imagine even if a small ant on an insect is next to us, what it would think. I mean, my God, these human beings look so gigantic. So the Supreme Lord Krishna, from the breathing of Vishnu, so many universes get created. So what is all these demonic things for Krishna? It's nothing. It's just for him, it's just so simple to even handle no matter how big, gigantic the horse could be, or how terrifying someone like Putana could look like. I remember when we were small, we used to have during one of these festivals, we used to have Putana dressing up, one of the lady dressing up like Putana with all this tongue coming out and big gigantic personality and just with the eyes and coming on the streets. And I remember when we were small, we used to get scared. Oh my God, Putana. We used to go out running into the house because she used to hold a whip and she used to scare the people on the street. But that's how we used to feel when Putana was like, they used to come like doing dramas on the road and just like a like a fashion show. They used to go with all these people, and it was so scary. So you can imagine like the actual Putana, how demonic she must be looking. And even here also, how terrible this house must be looking. But for Krishna, maybe the residents of Vrindavan were feeling very agitated and they must be very scared. But then at every time when they had a pain like this, when they had a demonic one like the KC demon that come, Krishna always came to the rescue because they were so dependent on Krishna. And that's the most important thing, isn't it? Whether it's Draupadi also, Draupadi, when she was being embarrassed, she looked at everyone. All they were mighty, the mighty Pandavas, the mighty Bhishma, the mighty Dronacharya. And sometimes this is the situation, isn't it? We keep thinking like, oh my God, at back of me, I have so many people who can protect me. But when the situation came, nobody was there to protect Draupadi. And finally, she had to lift her hands up and call up to Krishna. And Krishna immediately came and rescued her. So this is the situation, isn't it? And that's the same thing with the residents of Vrindavan. When anything happens, immediately they lift their hands for Krishna. Krishna, please kindly save us. And Krishna is always being there because he says, Ananyas chintayanto ma ye jana paryupashite tesham nityabhyuktanam yogashemam vahamyaham. I will take care of yogashemam. And that's exactly what Krishna is doing it for the residents of Vrindavan. Because they were so dependent on him, Krishna was always reciprocating their feelings by always helping. So here we can see that this KC demon was just handled so simply, just like a Garuda throws a big snake. Krishna just whirled around and just threw this massive, huge KC demon. And then finally what happened? The KC, she felt, and even the Krishna's left arm into the horse's mouth, she felt like a hot iron rod. So you can imagine how powerful Krishna is, that when we have Krishna on our side. So finally the KC's throat choked and she perspired, and finally she died, and then with the eyes bulging out of and things like that. And Krishna could just remove his hand from the mouth of this KC demon. And but then again, we see that every time Krishna is beautifully unfolding his beautiful leelas, they're the most happiest people who are also enjoying along with the Vrindavan are the demigods. All the demigods, Indra, and whether you talk about Chandra, Indra, and Varuna, and then all kind of demigods. There's so much rejoicing because they are able to see all these beautiful leelas of Krishna and how Krishna is kind of like, and they're just showering a lot of flowers because of these wonderful divine leelas that are happening in Vrindavan, that even the demigods are witnessing, and they're enjoying this beautiful leelas coming up. Now, after this incident has happened, Narada Muni, now he came to say Krishna in a solitary place. I think in the previous chapter we were saying that Narada Muni is just like a Devadarshi. They call him Devadarshi, which means that if they are not visible to the common man, unless they want to make themselves visible, and that's why Devadarshi, Narada Muni has himself willed and appeared to Kamsa, giving him this knowledge that to just for the sake of the Leela, just for accelerating the Leela, because Narada Muni is always playing this game. He's always supporting and associating with Krishna and just making this plan so that, the Kamsa can be, he's one of the greatest demonic people, and then Krishna has to put an end to Kamsa. For that to happen, this Leela has to unfold. So as you can see, like in the earlier chapter, Narada Muni went to Kamsa and started instigating him, saying that, why are you trying, and Kamsa was trying to kill his own father, or he's trying to kill his sister as well. And then, Narada Muni says, your target is Krishna and Balaram, you go and kill them, kind of thing. So he's doing all these leelas to accelerate the divine pastimes of Krishna. So here again, now that KC demon has been put to an end in this first chapter, in this first paragraph. Now what we see is after this particular incident where Krishna has put an end to KC demon that was so ferociously coming towards Krishna, Narada Muni, the greatest of all the devotees, he came to see with Krishna in a solitary place and began to talk with him. Because, the most beautiful thing we have to understand is Krishna is Krishna. Krishna is the supreme Godhead. Whether Krishna was a small boy, a 7-year-old boy lifting the golden hill, or whether he's placing with a Kesi demon, at any time Krishna is Krishna. Because like in our material life, all of us, we develop maturity and we develop our skills and everything over a period of time. When we are small, we do not know many things, but over a period of time, then we develop our knowledge and things like that. But here we're talking about Krishna. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, whether he's small or whether he was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So you can see that here, Narada Muni, the greatest devotees, goes to Krishna, and now he begins to talk to Krishna. My dear Lord Krishna, I would like to use the word Bhagavan. My dear Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he says, Narada says, you are the unlimited super soul, the supreme controller of all the mystic powers, the Lord of the whole universe, the all-pervading personality of Godhead. You are the resting place of the cosmic manifestation, the master of all the devotees, and the Bhagavan of everyone. My dear Bhagavan, Sri Krishna Bhagavan, as the super soul of all the living entities, you remain concealed within their heart, exactly as the fire remains concealed in every piece of fuel. You are the witness of all the activities of the living entities. You are the supreme controller within their hearts. You are the self-sufficient, and before the creation you existed, and by your energy you have created all the material elements. Narada Muni continues to say, according to your plan, Krishna, this material world is created by the interaction of the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajo, and Tamoguna. And by you, it is maintained and it's annihilated. Although you are unaffected by all these activities, you are the supreme controller. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, my Bhagavan Sri Krishna, you have advented yourself on the surface of this earth just to kill the so-called kings who are actually demons. These hobgoblins are cheating people in the dress of princely order. You have advented yourself to fulfill your own statement that you come within this material world just to protect the principles of religion and annihilate unwanted miscreants. My Bhagavan Sri Krishna, I am therefore sure that the day after tomorrow, I shall see demons like Chanura, Mustika, and other wrestlers and elephants, as well as Kamsa himself killed by you. I shall see this with my own eyes. After this, I shall be able to see the killing of the other demons like Shanka, Yavana, Mura, and Narakasura. I shall also see how you take away the Parijata flower from the kingdom of heaven and how you defeat the king of heaven himself. So this is a beautiful thing. And this, we have so many conversations that happen in the material world, but these are all divine conversations. And we have seen throughout the Krishna book that everybody, whether we talk about Vasudeva, how knowledgeable he was, like everybody, if you can see in this, how the gopis are knowledgeable. I mean, the love that they had towards Krishna. They were so knowledgeable that they knew all this, so many intricate things. So you can see that how Narada is on such a spiritual platform. He understands that Krishna is the unlimited supreme controller. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what is the formula for getting peace? Because we are all thinking of ourselves as the supreme proprietors. We're thinking we are the lord of everything. But Krishna is saying, like Krishna, he is the supreme enjoyer. He is the supreme controller. Bhoktaram yajana tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatamam shantimrichati. That he is the supreme controller. He is the supreme controller. He is the supreme super soul and the Lord of all the universes. And not only that, suhridam sarvabhutanam, where Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that he is our best well-wisher. He is our best benefactor. He is always wishing for our good. And that's the reason when we take towards Krishna, we take one step towards Krishna. Krishna will take 10 steps by arranging all the things to bring us closer towards him. He may arrange devotees for you to come across. He may arrange for Krishna Katha to be shared. Or he may arrange for people to be part of a Sangha. And so many things can happen in our divine when we take the step towards Krishna. So as you can see over here, Bhoktaram Yajana Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is the Maheshwara of all the universes, which is what Krishna Bhagavan Narada is mentioning over here. And he is the super of all the living entities. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivitso. He is the one who's sitting. And it's such a beautiful analogy just mentioned, just like how you remain concealed within the hearts, just like as a fire remains concealed in every piece of fuel. Like as Prabhupada, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, like everybody has love for Krishna in their heart, but it's in a very dormant stage. And Krishna consciousness or the chanting of the holy names is to revive this beautiful, is to wake up this this love, this dormant love for Krishna that all of us have. It's just in a sleeping stage, and that's why we had to wake up this beautiful, revive this beautiful love that we have hidden in each and every one's hearts. This is actually a beautiful song. I think it's by Bhaktivedanta. Vibhavari Sesha Aloka Pravesha Nidrachari Uto Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva. That's a beautiful song which says like, oh Jiva, while you're enough of your sleep, it's time to wake up and develop your love towards Krishna, chant the holy names of Krishna. And I just love that beautiful song, Vibhavari Sesha, Aloka Pravesha. Nidrachari Uto Jiva. This, waking, soul, you are in a sleeping state, wake up to this beautiful love of Krishna and chant the holy names of Krishna. So here, within everyone's heart, there's Krishna, the dormant love for Krishna. And we had to revive this beautiful love by chanting the holy names. And when we chant the holy name, the Cheto Darpana Marjanam will happen, all the cleansing will happen, and finally, when all the anarthas are removed, what we will find is a beautiful love for Krishna. And he's the witness, and Narada Muni is saying he's the witness of all. He knows everything. He tells Krishna tells Arjuna, I know everything that has happened in the past. I know everything that's happening right now, and I also know everything that's going to happen in future. But me, no one knows. So we all don't know what we did in our previous life. But Krishna knows. As you can see, like all the sages who were during the time of Rama, they always desired to be associated with Rama. And then Rama said, yeah, in the incarnation of Krishna at that time, you will be able to enjoy in the association. And they all were born as gopis, enjoying in the association of Krishna. But Krishna kept his promise, like, the one which he made in the previous yoga, and given them all the love that they were craving for. So Krishna is always reciprocating. But we have to understand that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and the supreme controller. And as we can see here, Paritranaya sadhuna vinasaya duskritam dharma samstapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That's the reason why he's come. He's come because to get rid of all these people who are cheating, actually, all these kings, demonic kings who are actually cheating the people. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrajamyaham. Whenever there's a decline in the religious principle, Krishna says, I again descend myself. Krishna is so kind that in every yoga after yoga, he's descending in different incarnation. And as if that is not enough, again in Kali Yuga, he comes in the form of a devotee as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as if that is not enough, again Krishna sends a wonderful, such a pure devotee and our Guru Prabhupada to give this message of that in Kali Yuga, you do not need to go and do all the austerities because you do not have so much of a life. But he's simplified. He's so kind. That Krishna is so kind that he said in Kali Yuga, I have simplified this whole thing that by just chanting the holy names, wherever you are, at home, in the temple, or wherever you are, you can get the same benefits that people used to get in the ancient times. Whatever they have, used to do all the austerities that you used to. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punya palam pratistam atyeti tat sarvam vidam viditva yogi param sthanam upechi chadyam. Krishna is saying those people who are engaged in bhakti life, you will get all the benefits. You will not be bereft of the benefits that people used to get in the ancient time by studying the Vedas, by doing austerities, by doing sacrifices, by doing all penances and philosophical activities, whatever that he used to do in the earlier yugas. My devotees will get the same benefit by just engaging in devotional service, by chanting the holy names of Krishna. So you can see how merciful the Krishna is, that he has simplified so much for us. And here, Narada Muni is saying that he's already seeing, because he's on a spiritual platform, he's able to even understand what he's going to witness on the Leelas of Krishna, that he's telling already that, my dear Krishna, I'm sure that day after tomorrow that I'm going to see all these demons, whatever Kamsa's plans that he's making, they're all going to be disposed. Man proposes, God disposes. This is the situation. So everything is going to happen according to Krishna's plan. It's not going to happen according to Kamsa's plan. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there are 5 things which are responsible for any action that's going to happen. The kind of endeavor that we do, the body in which we are using this endeavor, and also the jiva who's desiring to do a certain activity. And finally, the most important thing is the the Paramatma is sitting in our heart. Unless we have the permission of that, nothing can be accomplished. So any activity that's going to be accomplished, all these different factors are involved in that. And most important thing is the sanction of the Paramatma is sitting in the heart. So you can see here that Narada already is knowing what's going to happen. And he's saying that with his own eyes, he's going to see all these demons going to get killed, Narakasura and Mura and everybody. And also he's going to witness such beautiful thing like Parijata Krishna getting the Parijata flower from the kingdom of heaven and defeating the king of himself. And then here, Narada continues to say, my Bhagwan Sri Krishna, I shall then be able to see how you marry princes, the daughters of the chivalrous kings, by paying the price of Kshatriya strength. Whenever a Kshatriya wants to marry a very beautiful and qualified daughter of a great king, he must fight his competitors and emerge victorious. Then he is given the hand of a princess in charity. So this was the process that was followed early in these earlier days. When the kings, when they had these daughters who were like, to marry the princess, it was a strength of the Kshatriyas to see like who can defeat and who can win the hand. Anyone who has to win the hand of the princess, they had to just go through this Kshatriya test of the Kshatriyas. So we can see that here, Narada Muni can also see, he's able to see like how the Krishna is going to be marrying the princess and of some of these daughters. And we can see like in going forward in the future chapters as well. I shall also see how you say King Nigra from hellish condition, said Narada Muni. This you shall enact in Dwaraka. I shall also be able to see how you get your wife and Shamantaka Jebel, and how you save the son of Brahmana from death after he has already been transferred to another planet. After this, I will be able to see you kill the Paundraka demon and burn to ashes the kingdom of Kashi. I will see how you kill the king of Chedi and Dantavakra during the great sacrifice of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Besides all this, it will also be possible for me to see many chivalrous activities while you remain in Dwaraka. And all these activities performed by your grace will be sung by the great poets throughout the world. At the battle of Kurukshetra, you will take part as a chariot driver of your friend Arjuna, and as an invisible death incarnation at eternal time. You will vanquish all the belligerents assembled there. I shall see a large number of military forces killed on that battlefield. My Lord, or my Bhagwan Sri Krishna, let me offer my respectful obeisance onto your lotus feet. You are situated completely in the transcendental position, in perfect knowledge and bliss. You are complete in fulfilling all your desires. By exhibiting your internal potency, you have set up the influence of Maya. Your unlimited potency cannot even be measured by anyone. My dear Bhagwan Sri Krishna, you are the supreme controller. You are under your own internal potency. It is simply vain to think that you are dependent on any of our creation. So we can see that in one paragraph, Narada Muni has given us this nectar to visualize and think how powerful and how great Krishna is. When we say Krishna, we say Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Why Bhagwan? All the six opulences. Unlimited strength, unlimited beauty, unlimited even renunciation. Why unlimited renunciation? You can see that there was this beautiful pastime where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was touring South India, he comes across this old Brahmin who was actually holding a Bhagavad Gita and he was crying. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, why are you crying to this old man? And this old man says, my guru asked me to read Bhagavad Gita, study Bhagavad Gita daily, but I'm an ignorant or an illiterate person. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, then why are you holding the Bhagavad Gita and turning to pages saying, why are you crying? He said, because my guru asked me to read, I'm just holding this Bhagavad Gita and I'm just turning the pages. But why I'm crying is because on the cover page of Bhagavad Gita, I have been seeing this beautiful picture where Krishna, the supreme Bhagwan Sri Krishna, he's so kind to his devotees that he's ready to become even a charioteer for his devotee Arjuna. So seeing that with emotion, I'm crying that how kind Krishna is, how much of love he has for his devotees, that he's ready to become even a charioteer. Because in the battlefield, it was not so easy, and so much of war going on. They won't have time to just tell them. I read somewhere that even they just kind of make sights with their feet. showing this, go in this direction, go in that direction. So you can imagine like a chariot, as a charioteer, he was just being a charioteer for his devotee Arjuna, seeing that he was saying like how much this Bhagavan Sri Krishna is so kind to his devotees that he is ready to do anything for his devotees. That is one of the things, opulences of Bhagavan. Unlimited renunciation, that he is not attached. He says like every activity that he's doing, Krishna is doing, but he's totally detached from everything. He's above the three modes of material nature. He's just above all of them. In fact, he tells Arjuna that one should transcend these three modes of material nature. So here we can, Narada is able to visualize and he can understand that how Krishna in the future, that he's going to be killing all these King Nigra, and that's going to happen in the time of Dwarka, and how he's going to get his wife, and Shamantaka, Jibal. I think many of you people, like, our devotees who have been, who have lived in India, or maybe who have gone through this beautiful kathas of Krishna. One of the thing was the Shamantaka Jibal. Also, I remember when we were small, we used to read about that. And you can see like how Krishna is so powerful that can you just save somebody who afterwards died? But here you can see that the Krishna was ready to save, he was saving even the son of a Brahmana from death, even though he's been transferred to another planet. So we can see how Krishna, how beautiful Krishna is capable of, the supreme Bhagavan Sri Krishna, that he can bring to life somebody who has even died and gone to another planet. And we can also understand from Mahabharata that Krishna was so powerful that when Uttara was praying, because of Ashwatthama was releasing this powerful weapon, and because at that time Uttara was having a baby in her womb, and she prays to Krishna, and Krishna goes into the womb of Krishna, of Uttara, and even saves the baby, Parikshit Maharaj. So we can see how Krishna is capable. He can just even go to other planet and bring back the life, and he can even kill all these demonic people, and he can do anything. Krishna, that's the reason why when we say Bhagavan instead of a Lord, when we say Bhagavan, it is so powerful because we're talking about the Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the supreme Bhagavan, who's capable of, he can do so many things. At the age of 7, he can lift a Govardhan mountain, and he can become so small that he can enter into the womb and save the baby, and he can go into another planet and even bring back to life. So through the devotees, we can understand. This is the process that we have to follow in bhakti life, isn't it? We always try to learn from the devotees. We also learn from Narada Muni. He's giving us an idea that what's going to happen in future, that he's saying that how Krishna is going to be killing this Paundraka demon as well, and burn into ashes the kingdom of Kashi at that time, and Dantavakra and all of these people. And he can even see that how Krishna is going to be leading this Pandavas on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And how beautiful, and we all know about how Bhagavad Gita ended, because no matter how powerful the Kauravas were, and they had even Bhishma and Dronacharya on their side, but still Arjuna had Krishna on their side. So at the end of the day, at the end of the 18 days of battlefield, Krishna made sure that the Arjuna and the Pandavas have won the battlefield. That's why Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhacha mai arpito mano buddhi mamavesa samsayasa. Always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your mind and intellect fixed on me, you will surely attain me. So so Krishna is not saying that we have to leave all our things. He's saying, always think of me and fight your battles, and do everything as an offering for me. Yad karosi, yad asnasi, yad juhosi, tadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya, tad kuruso madarpanam. That whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, whatever charity you do, anything, do everything as an offering for Krishna. That's what Krishna is saying on this. So here you can see, Narada Muni can see that, ultimately he'll be vanquishing all these demonic people. And he's, so because he knows that Krishna is above all this Maya. Maya is just one of the internal potency of Krishna, but Krishna is above all that. Maya jakshena prakriti suete sacharacharam hetu nanina kaunteya jagad viparvartate. Arjuna, this material energy is working under my direction, Arjuna. Under that direction of this material energy, everything gets created and everything gets annihilated. But this is in the hands of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And finally, he says, you have taken birth in the Yadu dynasty, in our Vrishni dynasty. Your advent on the surface of the earth in your original form of eternal blissful knowledge is your own pastime. That means Krishna doesn't come under it's not like, based on your past karma that you get born in a certain place and how the Maya or the material energy puts you in a certain thing. You are in the mercy of, once we leave our body, we're at the mercy of the material energy, where it takes our subtle body and again puts it into the womb. So Krishna is not like, it's not, hasn't have a life like that. He's independently, out of his own will, that Krishna can take birth in anywhere. As we can see that when Krishna was born, he first actually appeared as this four-armed Vishnu form, and again later on the prayers of Devaki, again he just seems as a baby. You're not dependent on anyone but yourself. Therefore, I offer my humble, respectful obeisances onto your lotus feet. After offering a respectful obeisance to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Narada Muni took permission and left. So we can see just in 2 paragraphs, Narada Muni has just summarized how beautiful that what he's going to witness over here with Krishna, seeing how he's going to put an end to all the demonic things, how he's going to fight the battlefield of Krishna, and also the knowledge that he has that Krishna is above all this material energy. Narada Muni wanted to impress upon the people in general that Krishna is fully independent. His activities, such as his appearance in the film, the family of Yadu, or his friendship with Arjuna, does not necessarily oblige him to act or enjoy the results. They're all pastimes, and for him, they're all play. But for us, they're actually tangible facts. It's all a divine play. And this is what we have to understand, that all these divine leelas of Krishna, we cannot understand with our logical mind. We have to apply our heart. We have to apply our love for Krishna to understand. And only when the association of devotees, we can relish this beautiful Krishna Katha. And because this Krishna Kathas, these leelas are for the devotees to relish and develop our love towards Krishna. That is the whole purpose. And as we keep reading, it gives us so much of a joy for us to understand this nectar kind of things that have happened. This is not for people. Some people may say, oh, this is just a myth and this is just some happen, like it's mythology and things like that. That is for the non-devotees who think that these are all some kind of kathas. But for us, we know as devotees that these are all divine leelas of Krishna, divine pastimes of Krishna. Well, what we do is time pass, but when Krishna does, it is divine pastimes. And after he killed the Kesi demon, Krishna tended to return to tending his cows with his friends in the forest as though nothing has happened. Thus, Krishna is eternally engaged in his transcendental activities in Vrindavan with his friends, the cowherd boys and gopis. But sometimes he exhibits the extraordinary prowess of the Supreme Personal Godhead by killing different kind of demons. So you can imagine, for Krishna, it's just a small play, just something like a Kesi demon, which is such a huge horse appearing. It was just nothing for Krishna. Krishna just hurled and just gave one bang with the left hand into his mouth, and he just went flat, killing. So these are all the divine leela, but for Krishna, and this is for us to rejoice. These are all the divine leelas for the people of Vrindavan to engage and to be happy about. And the same way that we can also rejoice by listening to this Krishna Katha. Later that morning, Krishna went to play with his cowherd boys on the top of the Govardhan hill. They were imitating the play of thieves and police. Some of the boys became police constables, and some became thieves, and some took the role of lambs. While they were thus enjoying the childhood pastimes, a demon known by the name of Vayamasura, the demon who flies in the sky, appeared on the scene. He was the son of another great demon named Maya. So demon son obviously will be demon. So Vayamasura is again another demon belonging to the father called Maya. These demons can perform wonderful magic. Vayamasura took the form of a cowherd boy, playing as a thief, and stole many boys who were playing the parts of the lambs. One after the another, he took away almost all the boys and put them in the caves of a mountain and sealed the mouth of the caves with stones. Krishna, who's seated in everyone's heart, could understand the trick the demon was playing. Therefore, he caught hold of him just like a lion catches hold of a lamb. The demon tried to expand himself like a hill to escape arrest, but Krishna did not allow him to get out of his clutches. He was immediately thrown to the ground with great force and killed, just as an animal is killed in the slaughterhouse. After killing the Vayamo demon, Lord Krishna released all his friends from the cave or the mountain. He was then praised by his friends and by the demigods for this wonderful act. He again returned to Vrindavan with his cows and friends. So in this chapter, we started with the Kesi demon and how Krishna so coolly he went and whirled him around and thrown it back. Even though it came back again, he given one kick. So you can see that towards the end of this chapter, there's again another small, beautiful Leela unfolding, where again another demon called Vayomasura tries to kind of suddenly appear in the sky. And then I wanted to just show how Vayomasura demon looks like. So this is what the demon is looking like. You can imagine how huge, isn't it? All these demons, like whoever this just came to kind of like any small baby would have been petrified seeing such a big but not for someone, but for Krishna Bhagwan. Anything like this also you so coolly handled. So you can see in this particular chapter, both of them, one KC demon came in the form of a horse, and then you can see the Vayamasura also who came here. Such a huge one, isn't it? But Krishna was totally unfazed by it, and so coolly Krishna handled even Vayamasura also. And it's so interesting because I think many of us would remember, like in India also, I don't know whether this game played here, but in India also we had that, isn't it? The kind of game where will be somebody is hiding, like in a police, and where the thief is hiding somewhere, and the police constable you wear that, and then you're trying going and searching for where the thieves have been hiding, kind of thing. So it's like a childhood pastime. And it's very interesting to note that some of these divine leelas, these kind of games that were being played, they were just coming from 5,000 years ago. Can you imagine how beautiful it is that even today also they're just being practiced sometimes in some places in India, like, the police and robber and police and things like that. And here you can see that the demon, Vayamasura, was kind of like appearing as, as one of them, because Krishna was playing on the Govardhan hill with his cowherd friends, and Vayamasura, and all these demonic ones, like, they had this power to take different forms, isn't it? So here he's taking the form of a cowherd boy playing as a thief, and nicely just camouflaged himself as one of the cowherd boys, and takes some of the boys and keeps them in a mountain cave on the Govardhan hill. And Krishna he's sitting in everyone's heart. He knows what they're up to and all the tricks that they can play. So immediately you can see that here also same thing happened, like how Krishna handled KC demon. Vayamasura was no exception. Krishna immediately took, just like how a lion catches. This is a beautiful analogy that Krishna, that Prabhupada has given us, saying that how a lion catches hold of a lamb. Similarly, the demon was trying to escape, but Krishna caught hold of him, and he did the same thing, thrown him to the ground and got killed, kind of thing. So, and again, as always, every time Krishna does a beautiful divine Leela, all the residents and the cowherd boys out there in Vrindavan, they're always rejoicing and praising Krishna and going back home and telling their mothers and all the residents like how beautiful Krishna has done them. And for them, it is nothing. Okay, Krishna is capable of doing anything. That's a love they have for Krishna. Then they think that, yeah, for Krishna, why not? Yeah, he would have done it. Yeah, definitely, because that's the kind of a love they had. They had so much of faith in Krishna. They know that he's a rescuer. Anytime any problem comes, they were always crying out for Krishna, and Krishna was always reciprocating. As he always says, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. According to, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So here the most important thing is surrender. That Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan, they were so surrendered to Krishna that anytime anything happens, they always showed the love towards Krishna. And like as Krishna says, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. And he's also showing the same level of reciprocation by always going and saving him. So that's the reason why the friends are always praising whenever Krishna does his divine leelas. And they return again, Krishna along with his cowherd boys returned back from the Govardhan hill to the Vrindavan. So that comes to the end of this beautiful chapter. I just wanted to get any comments on anything that you want, any reflections, any corrections, and anything that we want to add. Can you please, by all means? And I think we have covered we covered this one chapter fully today. So, but I just wanted to just get everyone's contribution as well. Ratan Prabhu, Srimati Kanamataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it's one very wonderful lecture you gave already. This is very nice. Actually, the Keshi demon, he is also still there is a Keshi Ghat one of the very important place. Whenever we have to remember about Krishna, Keshi Ghat, that is Jayo Radhe, Jayo Vrindavan. This Damodar month, we sing that song. That is Keshi Ghat, one of the auspicious. Because Keshi demon, he can destroy Krishna can destroy who want to show the ego, very high ego, magnifying himself. So, but Krishna can destroy. Only Krishna can destroy such kind of ego because it's egoism.
Absolutely.
And another point you mentioned, maybe it's I don't know, is a Krishna's external energy. Maya. Normally, it is Krishna's external energy. Is it right?
Internal potency.
Just
Internal potency is Radharani, and then you have the marginal potency as well, which are the living entities, the jivas.
but Maya is the external energy. Normally, it's considered because internal energy is Radharani. That is
Radharani. External energy is the Prakriti or material energy.
Yes, Maya is who is energy distract from Krishna. I mean, so that means is Triguna is Maya energy. Maya, that is Triguna Maya. So that means it is external energy. So, yeah. So if we are focused on Krishna, that means we can be focus on Krishna means Radharani or service mood. That means external energy will go. Will be eliminated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, wonderful Prabhuji. There's
Hare
always said, add nectar. Thank you, Ratan Prabhu. Yes, Samaga Prabhu, anything you want to add?
So as Ratan Prabhuji was saying, on the other day we were reading Katyayani Vrata. So there we have seen Ekayam Prema Sarvasya Swabhava Gokuleshwari Anaya Sulabho Dhyeya Adidevo Akileshwaraha. So Gokuleshwari is the Radharani. She is what she makes all the conditioned souls coming nearer to Anaya Sulabho Dhyeya Adidevo Akileshwaraha, bringing conditioned souls nearer to Krishna. That is Ekayam Prema Sarvasya. And after that, Asya Avarika Shaktihi. So this is Asya Avarika Shaktihi. When the Radharani, when she is acting in the material world, Avarika Shaktihi, Mahamaya Akileshwari. Eya Mugdham Jagat Sarvam. So she bewilders all this loka. Eya Mugdham Jagat Sarvam. Sarve Dehavi Maninaha. Thinking that everyone are they are the bodies. Likewise, she will bewilder us in the material world. Just wanted to bring that point, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Kattani, I mean, like this is I mean, she is also external energy, but also in Brahma Samhita also mentioned Durga also same Durga or Kattani is external energy. Is it not?
Durga is external energy, Prabhuji. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Durga is yeah equals to Kattani. That means this is also external energy. But Radharani is energy from Radharani actually, the expansion of Radharani, but they are working external energy.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
source of all the potencies is Radharani. The internal potency of Krishna is the source, and from there you have Katyan. Thank you, Prabhuji. Always nectar to hear references from Bhagavatam. It's really amazing. And another beautiful katha is just unfolding, and there's so many beautiful things that are still going to be coming in the following chapters. But today's was wonderful to be reading about K.C. Demon and
Yes, Prabhuji. And here Narada Muni is summarizing kind of a mini Srimad Bhagavatam here. So he is quoting all the Krishna's pastimes.
absolutely.
Just like when the Ramayana, whenever Rama, Lakshmana, he speaks, he will sell mini Ramayana to Hanuman. And whenever Hanuman goes to Sita, he says mini Ramayana. So there is where it's always some Ramayana comes, starting from beginning, and then all the pastimes includes. So likewise, here we see Narad Muni is compacting all these Srimad Bhagavatam pastimes here.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Because sometimes I think this is a beautiful thing that you said, because many times when I'm just narrating these things, which are so beautiful, we say like how much they have aware of this whole thing. You know, it almost looks like a synopsis, isn't it? Like when Narada Muni is just talking about everything that's going to happen day after tomorrow, and then he's talking about what's going to happen in future. It's almost like he's seeing able to see everything in front of him, just like how Sanjay is able to see the whole battlefield of Kurukshetra, war happening and Bhagavad Gita being spoken. He's like, here Narada Muni is seeing like what he is going to witness also in future. So I think when they're in a spiritual platform, as we said, like Narada Muni is called Devadarshini, and they, on a spiritual platform and a more high elevated. So and he's trying to play a role actually in the Krishna Katha, in accelerating the divine Leela. So definitely he's on a higher platform to know what's going to happen in future as well. And Krishna is unfolding all this divinely, but still he says like I'm unattached to all these things, but he's just what is required at that time. He was just making sure he performs his duty, and like as we can see in this, he's doing all these things, killing all the demons, and then he's again going back to Vrindavan as if with his cowherd friends, as if nothing has happened. He's just going back, just so totally unattached to what has happened. So it's amazing actually to see like how Krishna is mentioned. Anything else, Sanchit Mataji and Prabhu, Nityananda Mataji, anything you want to add, please, by all means.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Please correct me if I heard that Kartaini is one of name of Srimati Radharani, because Kartik month is the very important month, and Krishna was tied by his mother Jashoda in this month. And what is happened, the Leela, like it is so like high, so that is why it's not expressed to everybody's in front of everybody. That is why that another Leela was happened after like when he was like opened by his mother, then Krishna went to Radharani, because she was waiting for him. Then Krishna told that this was happened, and my mother was tied, like I was bound to why I was late, because my mother did tie my with rope like this. So, and what is another Leela? That another Leela was happened in this month of Kartik. The Rash Leela was happened in this month. So that is why, and that is why the month of Kartik is so important. And as Radharani is very dear to him, the month is Kartik month is very like all the Leela was happened. That is why Radharani's another name is Kartaini. I don't know. Am I right? Whatever I heard, is it like, was it in the Lila Omoga Prabhu? I don't know exactly. So please correct me. So I heard from another, like from one of lecture. Did you hear about like that?
Do you have any reference for that, please?
I forgot some different time. I heard lecture from different.
No, the lecture, but main thing, whatever you are hearing, you have to check with your reference, with the scripture. You have to come to some scripture point. Whatever we are hearing, but we have to verify with the reference. Please.
Yeah, but as Kartik month is like that is why Kattaini. But I heard also that another name of Durga Devi is Kattaini also.
Exactly. I mean, I
So
think that's what I remember. Like earlier, the gopis actually they were praying to Katyayani actually for having Krishna as their husband. That was the prayers that the gopis were doing. And my understanding is also like, yeah, it's another form of Durga Devi. I mean, Amaga Prabhuji, any
Yes,
kind of
Prabhuji.
Bhagavatam
Yeah.
you can refer, but that's my understanding.
Yes, Prabhuji. So Katyayani, she is a Durga Mai itself, and when she is acting in the material world, so that is what she bewilders, isn't it? Yaya Mugdam Jagat Sarvam Sarve Deha Manina. So likewise, she bewilders everyone when she acts as a external potency of the Lord in the material world for the material activities. But from the as Ritikana Mataji was saying about Krishna meeting to Radharani, that is not part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, as I have not seen that part, or Krishna book also.
Yeah.
It could be from Rupa Goswamis or Sanatana
from
Goswami.
some yes, from some maybe. Okay. Yes, I have to search for the reference because from where because sometimes some acharya they from their tika also it was mentioned. So somewhere I heard, that is why. Okay. Thank you for your reading.
Sure, Mataji. It's good to just share and just see, like, because even sometimes when I get it out, I ask Amaga Prabhu, like, this is what I heard, like, is it true kind of thing? Because it's good to always get some clarify with our devotees. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I just Sanchit Mataji or Anil Prabhu, anyone is anything else you want to add? We'll be just being mindful of everyone's time on the weekday. Yeah.
No, nothing for me.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Anil Prabhu. You're always giving your association on Thursdays. Thank you very much for that. Today, Ramnath Prabhu mentioned that he was not able to make it, so he's going to come next Thursday. So really appreciate Prabhuji's association as well, coming and joining us every time for Krishna Katha as well. So on that note, in that case, I mean, I think I just want to thank all our devotees. Sanchit Mataji, I think you.
I mean, just Prabhu, nice discussion, and like it's what do you say? The climax is building up for like killing of Kamsa to come soon. So yeah, it's a nice pastime. Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, when I was just seeing the other
Yeah.
chapters, heading off other chapters, it's like, oh my God, there's so much of nectar waiting for us. We need to just, as Narada is trying to accelerate the Leelas, I'm just trying to say, like, okay, we need to just go into these chapters every Thursday, so we can just, there's so much that's unfolding in the coming chapters as well. So we should be ready for some more and more nectar. And thanks so much again for all your association. It is more relishing and so beautiful when you hear Krishna Katha in the association of devotees. So I want to thank all of you because I know it's not easy on a weekday. So thank you so much, everyone, for giving your association and your precious time for Krishna Katha. And yeah, let's do a final Vaishnava prayer and then we'll close for today. Vanchikalpataribhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Yeah, let's all please unmute and say three loud Hari Bols for Prabhu. Thank you for your service. Hare Krishna.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
All glories to your service to make Krishna book reading every week after week so interesting and
Thank you, Satyaji.
Hare
Always
Krishna.
supportive. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.